This weekend, a new sports psychological horror thriller, Him, drops in theaters. This movie is produced, not directed by Jordan Peele. So let's talk about it. While I'm talking, be sure to join me down below in the comment section. Let me know, what did you think about Him? And if you haven't seen it yet, are you excited to check it out? This actually turned out to be a really fun press screening because a bunch of my out-of-town film critics, TikToker friends are here because Fantastic Fest is this next week. It actually starts tonight. And so I was able to hang out with a bunch of my friends. I'll actually be with this next week. And after Him, I asked them what they thought about the film. So at the end of this video, there will be the opinions of a bunch of other people shared. With that said, let's get started with the good. And right off the bat, I don't think I've ever seen a movie quite like this before, where it is this blend of sports movie and horror film, but it tackles both of them in a very different way than I've ever seen a film tackle either genre. The movie is about the psychology of football players, the tension, the horrors that come with fame and huge expectations, rather than being specifically about the game itself. It's not about winning. It's not like an underdog story. In fact, there's not even a single game of football in the movie, despite the whole movie being about football and playing football. So it's a totally different approach to a sports film. And then, like I said, even the horror of it, it's based on real life kind of dread and experiences. So it's just a very unique blend of genres in different angle to come in for each of its two main genres, sports as well as horror. And it's very much a thematically rich film. It's a psychological film, and it dives into those elements on a very deep level. To that point, the acting here is really good. It's kind of carried by our two leads, where one of them is one of the Wayans brothers that, of course, are comedy legends of the last 35 years, and a guy that's known for like the scary movies and White Chicks. And this film, it doesn't lean like at all into his strengths as a comedian. You know, a couple light moments here and there, a couple jokes here and there, but it's much more about this guy that carries this burden and is passing it on to this next person and challenging him and kind of going back and forth between charismatic and affable and being terrifying, but you're not quite sure why. The other main guy here, I'm not sure if I've seen him in anything else before, but once again, it's just a really compelling performance of this guy that kind of finds himself trapped in this box of success and in this situation where he has no idea what to do. Other thing here that it's really great is that every shot in the movie is gorgeous. Every shot just feels meticulously crafted in the set design, the framing. Everything feels like it's designed to be a still that you could share as a promo image for the movie. Every single one of them is just gorgeous to look at. And I say this as a positive mostly, but it's the kind of film that it looks like every shot looks like it's a fancy prestige commercial. Every shot feels like it's pulled from a music video of just interesting imagery, that the images are meant to be compelling in and of themselves. And that's mostly meant as a compliment of just, it looks really cool. They found interesting places to film it. They set up environments, used color to just make everything gorgeous to look at. Today's video is brought to you by HelloFresh. Fall is almost here. That means cooler nights, craving heartier meals, and wanting something warm and satisfying. This season, HelloFresh has had a massive upgrade with their biggest menu yet. HelloFresh has doubled their menu. That means you can choose from 100 options each week. Likewise, you can feel great because their menu is even healthier with high protein and veggie-packed recipes. Here's the part that I love. You can get steak and seafood delivered to your door every week, no extra cost. There's 3 times more seafood on the menu now at no extra cost. I'm not a cook. not a chef. They deliver the exact ingredients in the right proportions with clear directions on how to make these delicious meals. Therefore, even someone like me that does not know what they're doing is able to cook an amazing meal. The best way to cook just got better. Go to HelloFresh.com/Sean Chandler 10FM now to get 10 free meals plus a free item for life. One per box with active subscription. Free meals applied as discount on first box. New subscribers only. Varies by plan. That's HelloFresh.com/Sean Chandler 10FM to get 10 free meals plus free item for life. So it's a unique concept. The acting is really great. Everything looks incredible. But it's also a movie that I just don't know that it worked all that great overall. Let's move on to the mixed aspects of the film. And this is somewhat a continuation of what I said before, where it is this very unique angle on both sports and horror. But for that exact reason, I can really easily imagine a situation where someone goes in, oh, I love sports movies, and it's something totally different for the genre, but you leave disappointed because you didn't get enough of what you wanted. It is 100% about football, and at the same time, there's not a single game of football in the movie. That's very different, but it also can be very unsatisfying if that's what you went in for. But on the flip side to that, because it is a horror movie that's a sports movie that's very psychological, and it's about headspace, it's metaphoric, it's symbolic, as a horror movie, you could feel like I didn't get enough horror either. I didn't get enough of what I wanted. I needed more gore, more jump scares, whatever you wanted. It's kind of that sort of film, that the specific thing that makes it unique and different also means its two sides are fighting with each other for runtime and attention, and you might leave the movie not feeling satisfied on either one of these fronts. And I'll talk about this more in a little bit, but the third act will be very divisive. That talking to people afterwards, literally one person said this made the movie for me, the other one said this ruined the movie for me. That level of, and I think some of that comes down to a movie that's fighting between being sports and being horror. So if you like the more grounded sports psychology with a little bit of elevation to it, then you get to the third act and you're like, oh, it lost me. And if you go and you like really want the horror, the third act might be like, finally it comes together and it turned into the horror movie that I was promised. So it's kind of like, once again, the two sides battling with each other. And that might even be one of the just fundamental things with this movie that's the exact thing that makes it cut through and interesting is what holds it back in its execution. From there, let's move on to the bad. And simply put, on a story and thematic level, I just don't think it ultimately went anywhere that I found all that interesting or compelling. That I heard people using the phrase style over substance, the word that many of us were throwing back and forth, pretentious. It's a film that was just never as clever or as profound as it seemed to think that it was. The whole thing kind of was filled with biblical imagery and crosses and devils and pagan symbols and all these things like we're implying something, and there's all sorts of metaphors and trippy imagery. And by the time you get to the end, it doesn't ultimately have some big, profound statement beyond the very simple, obvious one that you picked up on at the beginning of the film. It's a very direct and straightforward, filled with imagery that makes it seem like it's trying to be way more profound than it actually is. It's gorgeous to look at, but all that gorgeous imagery doesn't add to some grander statement or meaning. It's stylistically great, superficially really well done, and at its core, it's a real simple message. And if you go in and you really want a sports movie, I don't think it fully delivers. And if you go in and you want a horror movie, I don't think it fully delivers. And the thing that could have pulled it all up is if it really did have, like, was really thoughtful, cerebral, intelligent, and ultimately, it's just not that. So there are a number of really cool elements here on the surface, but at its core, it's a movie that just felt pretty hollow and ultimately unsatisfying. As I mentioned earlier, I talked to a whole bunch of different people coming out of the theater. Here's what they had to say. We just got out of seeing him. What'd you think about it?
So I kind of was iffy about it until the very end, and the final scene saved it for me. And the payoff made it worth it. And I really enjoyed it because of that.
Ooh, look, so this was one of my most anticipated movies of the year. Ever since I found out what this movie was actually about, I was hyped.
I think it's a very perplexing film that thinks it's way smarter than it is. It has great ideas, poor execution, but the one thing I'll say, see it for yourself, and Marlon Wayans was incredible.
I thought it was fine. I think it was a lot of style, very stylistic film, great sound effects, a lot of great visuals. I just don't know that I was the exact target audience.
Visually very interesting. It's almost shot like they're pacing the movie to music. It's like so deliberately put together and edited, so there's a lot of impressive stuff with that.
Walking into this one, man, I'm telling y'all, I couldn't be no more hyped for a movie. And then watching it, look, I'll tell you guys, the imagery in this movie is truly phenomenal. I think the performances in the movie are truly phenomenal. I think what this movie is truly about is truly phenomenal.
It was good. Marlon Wayans was great. Rest of the movie had a lot to say. I don't think it really delivered on all of it, but I think you should go see it. I probably need to see it twice to really kind of have it come in, but a little disappointed.
It's very sports.
Yeah,
Like,
very
inside,
sports.
well, I'd say inside baseball, but it's inside football.
Which I'm fine with that, but yeah, but just in general, just like, yeah, a lot of like the themes and stuff. So yeah, but yeah, it's good.
Story-wise, it feels very skin deep. It's very style over substance. I didn't even watch the whole trailer, and I felt like I got the entire gist from the first minute of the trailer. The movie just kind of says that one statement for the entire runtime, so was disappointed with that.
But I thought that there was some things that this movie was trying to do that I thought could have been done a lot better, you know, and that's just the big thing about me. Like, I love the movie up until maybe the last 20 minutes, but I know that ending is going to be very decisive for a lot of people.
That's why I talked to some people. They said the exact opposite. It wasn't working until the last 20 minutes, and that's the part that they love.
Oh my God.
The crazy ending is where it was like, all right, I'm on board.
No, same. That's where I finally got into it. I'm like, this is what I've been waiting for the whole time, and I feel satisfied with it. Like, it delivered for me.
See, the thing about this ending is there's going to be a lot of people on one side, a lot of people on a whole other side. And that's why you got to love movies. That's cinema right there. So, yeah, I'll tell you guys, man, for somebody with such high expectations for this one, it wasn't truly met, but I still like the movie.
Thank you.
And Sean Chandler is my best friend.
Absolutely.
Oh, you can find me in Movie Talk with Brock everywhere. Oh, I made it to Sean Chandler video. Thank you.
When you put it all together, it's a movie with a unique concept, great acting, beautiful shots, but hollow on the inside. It's ultimately unsatisfying and doesn't fully work because the script itself, the message itself, isn't nearly as good as the superficial execution and the potential that was in the idea. So, unfortunately, I can't really recommend this film. Overall, it's a C+ on the entertainment scale, a 5.5 out of 10, and you can wait to stream this one if you're interested in checking it out. Ultimately, it doesn't turn out to be all that interesting of a film, despite all the potential. Be on the lookout for a ton of coverage this week from Fantastic Fest, and thank you so much for watching, and keep talking movies and TV too much. Bye-bye.